Welcome back to OneStopTutorials.com. It's me, Alibaba, back again. How you doing, everyone? Great to be here. Now, this is a special tutorial for some special ladies out in Brisbane. There's these ladies out in Brisbane who do Photoshop. They're doing their graphic design. I was contacted by a woman called Jean, and what she wants to know is how you can take an older image, for example, something like this, which is a 1920s image, and turn it into something a bit more nicer, maybe lighten it up and do some enhancement on the actual image. I'm going to show you how to do that. What I'm also going to show you is how you can add some character to it, and also how you can add some color. This is the effect that I'm hoping to achieve. This is an image that we did. So this is the before, and then this is the after. You can see we've added color. So if you see, we've taken and added color to the whole image, okay, and given it more of a character look. And I'm also going to show you how to put wrinkles and stuff like that in it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to delete this layer. Left click, drag it down to the dustbin and delete it, and I'm just there with my one layer. Next thing I want to do is I want to duplicate this layer. So left click, drag it down to the new layer icon. It's always best to duplicate, so if you mess up you can always go back. It's just a lot easier. And I want to turn this duplication into a black and white image. The way you do that is Control Shift, or that's Command Shift on a Mac, and hit the letter U. That will now convert the image into a black and white image. It's a lot easier to work with when the actual image is a black and white image. Next thing I want to do is I want to create a new layer, and I actually want to change that layer's blending option to color. You can't actually see it, but it's the second one to the bottom, color. Okay, so we got a layer, we got a blending mode of color. Next thing I want to do is I want to grab myself the foreground color, and I want to choose myself some sort of brown color here. It doesn't matter because we're going to come in with hue and saturation in a bit and actually change it. Make sure I've got my brush selected, soft edge brush. Remember, you can change it by using your bracket keys. And all I want to do basically is, if I just zoom in one, all I want to do is I just want to paint in his jacket. So I'm going to paint in his jacket with a brown color. Okay. Don't worry if you're a messy painter. We can come in with delete tool. We can come in with masks, and we can actually mask it out. Remembering also that it doesn't matter what color you're using, because in a minute we're going to come into the hue and saturation, and we're actually going to paint this in ourselves. We're going to change the color ourselves with the hue and saturation. So I'm just going to come through this jacket. I'm going to have to do it quite rough because these tutorials only allow me 10 minutes. There we go. Okay, so like I said, don't worry if you make a mess. The object is basically just to get most of the jacket painted. If you do make a mess, I'll show you how to fix it anyway. So it should look something like that. We've just painted and made a brown jacket. Okay, I'm going to double left click on where it says layer 1. I'm going to change that to jacket. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to grab myself a new layer. Again, I want to make the blending mode to be that color, and again I'm going to double left click on where it says layer 1. I'm going to call this skin. Okay, and we're going to do exactly the same technique, but what we're going to do this time is we're going to paint it on the skin. Let me grab myself a color that looks something like skin. Again, as always, it's not that important. I'm going to hold down spacebar, which will allow me to move the image. I'm going to zoom in one more, and all I want to do is paint in over the skin here. Okay, I'm not interested in really painting over the hair. You can do that, but in this effect we don't actually need to. I just want to make sure I get the whole of the skin. Remembering you can make your bracket using the bracket keys on your keyboard will allow you to actually change the size. I'm just going to make that a bit bigger, coming around. The good thing about this is if you've got more time, you can really make this image to be 100% look real. Okay, I obviously don't have the time in this tutorial, but I would like working with stuff like this because I like obsessing on it. I have a very obsessive nature, and you can really make this look good. So I'm just going to come up here. These Brisbane ladies, graphic designers, Brisbane ladies, this tutorial is for you. Let me just come down here a bit. Okay, I'm going to leave his eyebrows. I don't really want to paint them in. I think I've gone over them too far. But again, I'm going to show you a way of sorting that out, because making this 100% perfect the first time round is going to be pretty much a very hard job. Okay, so that's what you need to do. You need to basically just paint in his skin. Next thing I want to do is I want to make a new layer. I want to do exactly the same. I want to come down to color. I'm going to grab myself a foreground layer. I'm going to grab myself a blue color, any blue color, and I'm just going to zoom in a bit by holding down Alt or Option on my keyboard using the scroll of my mouse. I'm just going to blue up that eye, and I'm just going to blue up that eye. Okay, I'm just going to make those eyes a bit blue, a bit more blue, make them a little bit better. So we are pretty much doing good. Okay, we painted everything in. What I want to show you quickly is what you can do is if you're a messy painter. So let's say on the jacket we wanted to edit some stuff up here. All you need to do is select the jacket, come down to this icon here, left click on it, that will add a mask. The mask works with a black and white as your foreground and background color. Okay, so if you have a white mask and you paint with black, black will delete, and then if you paint with white, it will bring back the information. So somewhere up here, by me using black, what I can do is I can just tidy up these little edges and just make it look like that we haven't been painting it in. Okay, using X on my keyboard, flip my foreground and background color, and that will allow me to bring back some information with the white. So that's how you bring back stuff if you find you're a real messy painter. Come in there with your mask and play with it. Next thing I want to do is actually select the layer, the jacket layer. I want to use the shortcut, which is Control or Command on your keyboard if you're using a Mac, and you hit the letter U. This will bring up the hue and saturation box. What you want to do is click this box here, Colorize, and now we want to choose some form of jacket color. So I'm going to bring it down to about here, and what I'm looking for is like a sort of browny color. You can desaturate the color out, or you can add more color. Okay, that's what this bar does, the saturation, and then you got your makes it darker, and then it makes it lighter. Okay, so playing with these settings, coming in here, playing will get you the exact color pretty much on what you want. So I'm going to hit OK. That is the jacket done. Next thing I want to do is I want to do the skin. Hold down Control or Command and hit the letter U. Again, this opens up the hue and saturation. Click the colorize box. Now you'll start to see exactly how this works on the skin. This is just such a great way. Remembering that this was actually a black and white image, we can really, really get this to look like skin color. You can make him look tanned, or you can make him look ill. All depends on how you want to do it. I just want to make it a subtle touch of skin color so it doesn't sort of look no good. Next thing I'm going to do is exactly the same on the eye layer. Control or Command U, hit the colorize box, and I'm going to leave it that blue, and I'm just going to desaturate it out a bit just so the eyes aren't so bright. So what have we got? We've done everything. We've done all the hard work. Now what I want to do is start adding a bit of character and start adding some funkiness to it. I'm going to click on the first layer. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom layer, hold down Shift, left click, that will select all layers. On the PC, I want to hold down Control, Shift, Alt, and I want to hit the letter E. On a Mac, that is Option, Command, Shift, E, and what that will do is that will merge all the layers below and put it onto its own layer, which is this top one here. Next thing I want to do is I want to come up to Mim Image, Adjust, and I want to choose Curves. Okay, this will bring up our Curves dialog box. And what I'm basically looking for here is adding some darkness to this. I'm giving it the effect of, you know, looking a bit darker. I can bring this one up. I can left click on the line, bring another one down. You know, I can really come in here and add some character to this actual image. Okay, bringing up the face, the top one. If you bring the top one up, it'll make it lighter and keep the bottom area darker. I'm just going to hit OK, just so we got time for these tutorials. So basically coming in the curves and adjusting it. What I wanted to show you quickly is how you can actually add more wrinkles. You do that with the actual dodge and burn tool. The burn tool will darken it, the dodge tool will lighten it. So if I select the dodge tool, hold down Alt or Option on my keyboard, okay, I'm going to really bring this down. I generally have a mid-tones. I keep the exposure really low, and all I'm going to do is just draw lines around his head here, just following basically the lines that are already here. Hold down space bar, that will allow me to move, make this area here darker, coming in here, making this area, oh, that's not looking good, making this area look darker. Basically find the wrinkles, sort of bring them out more, okay, and that will give you an effect of the man actually looking older. So this is a simple technique, okay. It turns from looking like this is the original image, to a quick 10-minute edit, and this is what it looks like now. We've taken it from being this grey, We then made it into a black and white image, and from a black and white image we added color and we made it look a bit more charactery and a bit more funkiness. Spend more time on it, you'll get it a lot better than this. Take it easy, guys and girls. Thank you very much, you Brisbane ladies, for all your great comments. I shall catch you guys and girls at the next One Stop Tutorials. Laters, everyone.